So when I was trying to think of what exactly to wear to, talk to you guys about these awesome things to do in Hawaii, I just kept finding things that were too fancy, and I'm like, yeah, you don't really wear that to talk about a hike. So I actually saw some of my friends this weekend, and they gifted me some belated birthday gifts, so I want to give a shout out to my friend Natalie, who unknowingly gave me the best top to wear for this. So thank you, Natalie. And if you can't see it because of the cropping, it says aloha. So first things first, let's jump into the best part, which is the food. The first place I want to recommend to you is a place called Eggs and Things. So what is so great about Eggs and Things? The fact that they have pancakes with this huge whipped topping is enough to make me want to go back to Hawaii just for the pancakes, actually. I had the banana pancakes, and they were sprinkled with macadamia nuts on top of the whipped topping. And then I topped my pancakes with the coconut flavored syrup, and the flavoring between the coconut and the banana was just spectacular. I have so many good things to say about the pancakes there. It's a little bit more pricey compared to the different breakfast options that you have, say Starbucks or something. So we spent, between two of us, $30 for the pancakes. Now, along those same lines, if you have a sweet tooth like me, I'm going to tell you about this bakery called Leonard's Bakery. It has apparently these world famous malasadas, and I'm just going to apologize if I didn't say that correctly. The malasada puffs are definitely something that you're going to want to put on your list for when you visit the island of Oahu. They come in several different flavors. There's coconut, chocolate, original, and I'm probably missing a couple too, but they're definitely super affordable. The line is not too bad. We got in and out of there in probably about a half hour. Alright, so Megan and I just went to Leonard's Bakery, and we are about to try our first, I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing it correctly, malasada. I got 2 custard, 2 chocolate, and 2 coconut because I figured I wanted to try one of each, and then I'll be really nice and gift the others to my family. Alright, so I'm probably going to get it all over the place. You can see the cream inside. Megan's slacking a little bit, hasn't picked up one of hers. I don't want to get this crap all over my stuff. You have a box, I have nothing to... It's pretty good. My fingers are all dirty. What's your verdict? You gotta tell the people. Good. Good? They're good. Good. There's very little parking, so just be prepared to maybe circle the parking lot a little bit or park across the street or something. But definitely put that on your list of things to do. The next place that you're definitely going to have to try if you have a sweet tooth is Matsumoto's shaved ice, and it's kind of, I don't want to say world famous, but it's very renowned. People go there because it's amazing, and it's actually, there's some shops around there, so you can actually make a little bit of a trip out of it. Instead of just going to get shaved ice, you can do a little bit of shopping too. So be prepared to wait in a fairly long line, but the line moves pretty quickly. I want to say that we were there maybe a little more than a half hour. Now with your shave ice, you can get it with or without ice cream. I personally like it with the ice cream because the flavoring and the texture just give it a little extra. And now I had the Hawaiian. Another really fun place that not only is a place to eat but also doubles as entertainment is Chief's Luau. I want to say tickets are about $100, so that's going to be one of the more pricey things that you probably do on your trip. But it was a lot of fun. The Chief definitely interjects comedy into the luau, so if you're looking for, to see the traditional dances, definitely Chief's provides that, but they also provide an additional layer of the comedy. And if you're headed to the North Shore, there is a place called Halawea Joe's that is really excellent. We had been there several years ago, so we decided to go back because I had the best mushrooms that I've ever had in my entire life there. I know, you're going to Hawaii for mushrooms. Yes, they are that good. But it's really close to, you know, Turtle Beach and Ali'i Beach. So if you plan to, you know, check out the things on the North Shore, definitely check out that restaurant. And then Matsumoto's is like maybe a mile or two down the street. So you can do a couple of things all in one trip. So I had 2 things on my bucket list that involved being on the island of Oahu. The first of which was climbing Diamond Head, going up the hike. So it was recommended to us that we be there no later than 8 a.m. Because it fills up really fast in the heat of the day. It makes it really awful. So we got there, I want to say maybe 7:48 if we're going to be exact, and it was already kind of full. So no matter if you park or if you walk up, there is just a slight charge. I think it's $1 per person if you walk up, and I want to say that it was $5 for the entire car to park. So super affordable, and the view that you have once you're up there at the very top is just to die for. You get to look out and see Waikiki Beach, and there's a lighthouse down below, so it's just a really amazing experience, just even watching the waves crash against the shore. I loved that. The second hike that we did that I would recommend is Manoa Falls, and that again, I think it was probably like $5 to park there too, so that was the only expense. All 4 of us that went definitely slipped at some point, so just be really careful when you go on that hike if you decide to take that hike. And the view that is offered at the end is really breathtaking. It's just a gorgeous waterfall, and the sound is just really serene and peaceful. It is shaded. It is a shaded hike because there are so many trees, and actually I believe they said that parts of Jurassic World or Jurassic Park and also the television show Lost have been filmed in Manoa Falls. So once you walk in, you can understand why, because the trees just give off this larger than life feel and look, but still super cool. And then I think the ultimate thing to do in Hawaii is go surfing. So that was actually the second thing on my bucket list that I wanted to check off while we were on Oahu. And I did that on the last day, and I'm so glad I did it on the last day because I had no idea how sore I would actually be. I've never surfed, I live in Florida, and living on the Gulf Coast, there are not exactly waves to surf with. So with saying that, my first wave that I took, I got to my knees on the surfboard, and so the second wave I took, I actually stood up without my hands on the board, and that was such an awesome moment. I know some people say they thought it would be too challenging or too difficult, but if I could do it on my second try, I think that you should definitely give it a go because you'd be surprised at how well you'd probably actually perform. The thing that I hated the most was that the waters on Waikiki Beach were just way too populated, especially for somebody who's never surfed before. I really didn't have very good control of my maneuvering of the surfboard. So they told us before we got in the water, if you see somebody that's kind of in your way, jump off to avoid the collision, because the last thing you want to do is, you know, hit each other in the water. So there were a couple instances where that happened, and I know when I was paddling out, I tried to stay away from the people that I saw coming in because I didn't want to make them jump into a wave if they didn't have to. So the worst part, actually, is having to jump off the surfboard or falling off the surfboard, if you will. Just if one of my waves that I was on was just and I say so big, but please understand that so big to me is probably very minute in the scale of things since we have no waves on the Gulf Coast. So this gigantic wave that I was surfing, I wound up having to jump off because there was somebody in my way a little bit further ahead. And when I jumped into it, inside my mind, the movie Blue Crush started playing, where the people just get tossed in the water and the waves like a rag doll, and that's what I felt. I had water going like in my ears and up my nose. I had my contacts in, and like I even opened my eyes underwater because I think it's just a shock of like what is going on, and you get kind of a little disoriented. And so when I opened my eyes, I didn't even think, oh man, I have contacts on, but the contacts didn't leave my eyes. Hit my head on the board a couple times. I wound up getting some pretty weird injuries. I think they're pretty much all gone except for the one on my elbow. It was just a bruise, but I had rashes all over my knees. Definitely was super banged up, but you have to surf in Hawaii. It's definitely an experience. It's probably one of the more costly things that you'll do there because I think we paid about 80 bucks. We went to Big Wave Dave's in Waikiki Beach, and everybody there was super, super nice. So I would definitely recommend them. And get a rash guard. I used to work at a surf shop, so I kind of know from the stories people have told me what happens if you don't wear one. So my sister-in-law and I wore one, and we have all these awesome pictures, and even through the rash guard I got bruises and very minor rashes. But my knees, I mean, there was no hope for my knees. And then just a couple more places that I would like to recommend to you guys. One is Ali'i Beach. It's also on the North Shore. Sometimes you can see turtles hanging out on the beach. I know last time we went back in 2006, there were a bunch of turtles just chilling on the beach. This time when we went, they were off in the water playing or what have you. So we were a little upset we didn't get to see them. But the following day when we were in the water, my brother's going to kill me probably for telling this story, but I screamed because I saw this little head pop out from the water, and he was no more than 10 feet away from us, and I'm like, turtle! And my brother totally freaked out and like jumped back. He's like, I don't want him to bite me. And I'm like, oh my god, he's probably so scared of you. He's probably not wanting to come over to you. But I just thought that was absolutely amazing to be able to like swim so close to a sea turtle. Definitely a special moment from Hawaii. Another place that I wanted to recommend is obviously the Dole Plantation. And we did the maze. I think I was expecting the maze to be a lot more fun than it actually was, but it was drizzling, and so it was just kind of like gloomy weather at the time that we did it. They said the average time it usually takes somebody to complete the maze is just under 50 minutes. So keep that in mind when you're planning your trip. They also have a train that takes you around the plantation. We did not do that, but you can do all those activities for under $20, so you can spend quite a bit of time at the Dole Plantation for a fairly cheap price. And obviously, if you're going to go to the Dole Plantation, you have to partake in the Dole Whip. I can confirm, in case there are any doubters out there, people who are questioning if the Dole Whip there tastes the same as the Dole Whip at Disney, rest assured, it tasted the same to me. And I'm a big fan of it, so I was so excited to be able to have it there. Obviously, if you're going to Oahu, one of the places that you're going to want to check out is Pearl Harbor. And it's amazing. You know, just pay your respects to all the people. When you're looking around, it's crazy to imagine that in such a beautiful place something ugly could happen like that. So it's a great place to go, be thankful, and to honor those people that unfortunately lost their lives that day. And then the last place I wanted to recommend to you guys is the Byodo-in Temple. And I apologize if I said that wrong. The temple is very calm, very soothing. It's very relaxing to go there. There is a very big like pond that wraps around the temple, and it's filled with fish, and you can get fish food and feed the fish. They are massive fish. They are not small, very, very big. But inside the temple there's a large statue of Buddha, and you can light an incense and, you know, say some thoughts. When you're in there, you can also make a donation. And then on the outside there is a gong that you can actually ring. And that to me was an experience because I've never been to Japan, so this place is actually a replica, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely breathtaking. And the cost to get into that was, I want to say, maybe like $2 or $3 a person. So I hope you enjoyed the places that I shared with you for your next escape to Oahu in Hawaii. And I look forward to actually hearing places that you guys might want to recommend to me too for the next time I go, because I love checking out new places. I'm definitely an adventurer. So have fun!